Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this fourth workshop for the BGA Future Leaders Case Competition Workshop Series. And in this session, we'll be having a Q&A with Banco Regional. Thank you to everyone who sent us some questions ahead of the event, and I'm going to try and get through as many of these as I can within the next hour. If you have any questions during the conversation, please feel free to pop these into your question and answer box, and I'll ask those as well. If not, if we can't get through them all, we don't have enough time, I'll forward them all on to the commentators and we'll reply to you separately after the event. Before I start, I'd just like to thank Austral Group one more time for helping us source this case and for working with us to develop the criteria and the case as well. So thank you very much for that. So just some introductions. My name is David Woods-Hale. I am Director of Marketing at BGA, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Rafaela Olenek, who is Manager of Transactional Banking at Banco Regional, and Natalia Velasquez, who's Trade Department Analyst at Banco Regional. So they're in a great position to discuss with us some of the issues facing the bank and also the sustainability agenda as we move forward with the case. So I'll take some specific questions towards the end and just give you some final information about the actual application process and how you can submit your entry. But I'm happy to start working through the questions. So the first question we've got is, in 2019, Banco Regional expanded as an economic group to incorporate an insurance brokerage house, and social responsibility foundation. So Rafaela and Natalia, how has this had an impact on your culture and your values over the past 3 years?
Well, hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here and sharing information about Banco Regional, and I'm very excited about this project. And going to the first question, well, we can talk about the company as economic group is that although the three of them were created in 2019, there is, as 2020 was a very special year, there hasn't been a very significant impact in the past 3 years related to our culture, values, or the integration about the three companies, okay, the four companies. And the Social Responsibility Foundation has indeed started raising awareness among the group collaborators, setting basically three strategic pillars. First of all is financial education, developing of products and digital platforms for entrepreneurs, family business, and things related to financial education. And the second pillar is agriculture and livestock research, aiming to improve the productivity and sustainability of the food production. As you know, Banco Regional is focused mainly in the agricultural sector. We have a very important market share in that segment, and also the environmental education, which we aim to create. I mean, the foundation aims to create a seed fund for environmental projects, waste collection and recycling programs, also creating a support model farm, and things related also to the environmental in the production of food. Okay. I don't know if that more or less respond to your question.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next question is again about the bank and its growth. So it says Banco Regional has 23 customer service branches and 7 customer service centers located throughout Paraguay. And you employ approximately 614 people. So I think the person is asking, considering sustainability and scalability, do you plan to open more branches and centers or focus more on online delivery going forward?
Yeah, so at this moment, Banco Regional is not focused on new physical branches in the near future. We are betting more on the technology to focus on online services. And in fact, the pandemic accelerate all the ratio of implementation of technology. But Banco Regional, what we did to get closer to the clients that they are not, that they are located where there are no branches, we created a mobile service center, which consists in a bus, is adapted as a branch, and it's goes around the country and goes more or less in the big centers where we have companies that have their payrolls with us. So we go there and we assist the client there. So instead of the client going to our branch, we are going to the branch. So saying that, we are not planning to open new branches, and we betting on this mobile service center and also in technology services and digital services.
Fantastic. And the next question is around recruitment and headcount. So they're just asking, can you share some details of recruitment and how many people you would like to have in place in the organization by 2025?
We don't have a very specific plan to recruit a big number of new employees. So it will be more or less specific needs for specific new transactions that we may need in the future, but it's not something that's planned to expand.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so talking about the sustainability department in particular. So you launched your sustainability department in November 2020. So it's nearly been in place for about a year now. So very many congratulations on that. And that was launched with several initiatives and started with the Bank Sustainable Finance Roundtable of Paraguay and connected to UN Global Impact. And I suppose we're really sort of wondering, in terms of strategy, what prompted the creation of the sustainability department?
Well, first of all, there are three different things. The bank sustainability department was created in 2020 as a part of our strategic plan for the next 5 years. And it's more of a commitment of the bank with the sustainability, and also is a tendency globally. So it's something that, and also another thing that move us to create the sustainability department was that we saw many things that we are doing internally that weren't taken as a sustainable approach. And then so we decided to have a sustainability department to join all this movement and to have and plan for the future new actions that would improve the sustainability and the commitment of sustainability of Banco Regional. And another thing is that the Sustainable Roundtable was created in 2012. So it's not something that we created together with the sustainability department. And it was a self-regulated initiative to relate it more to environmental and social risk analysis, and is a roundtable made by many banks in Paraguay. So it was created by Banco Regional together with 3 more banks, and today we have almost all the banks in Paraguay in the sustainable financial roundtable. Okay.
That's really exciting. Thank you. And then I suppose in terms of initiatives that you've already got in place, so I know that you've done some work around plastic caps and strategic alliances with stakeholders. We'd just be really interested to find out what initiatives you're already doing and how effective these have been to date.
I would like to pass to Natalia this question, as she's taking all this action.
Hi, everybody. Well, we're still ongoing with the initiatives of Plastic Caps project. The idea is we're collecting the caps and for donation to a charity foundation that are for children with cancer. And the idea is to involve the children of the collaborators here in the bank for separating the caps in same colors to let them know, to get to know the little ones, the concept of recycling, helping others. And that's the idea is to give all of these caps at the end of the year and to this foundation. Also, we have the project of sustainable housing. Banco Regional is the first bank in Paraguay to launch the sustainable housing loan product in agreement with the Paraguayan company Arque. which manages the EDGE certification for construction. And well, there we have also in our intranet, we have the brainstorming that provides a space for all of our bank employees to upload ideas or proposals for improvements in relation to environmental friendly processes within our system, which is implement a proposal for calculation or savings and impact obtaining reported, and how to, with all our systems, like with paper and different types of, how you say, tema de sistemas, en ahorro de sistema, and technology. And no sé si, okay, that's it. Well, we have the, I don't know if it's in case of the sustainable housing with question number 9, where you say creating an alliance for financing of sustainable housing. Would you be able to share some more information? I can talk about this if you wish, or just go with the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to, I'll just reiterate the question. Just so the question basically asks about the alliance for the financing of sustainable housing, which enables Banco Regional to be a pioneer in this product in Paraguay. So it's just finding out a little bit more about how that works in practice, really. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, the sustainable home is the rational use of energy, water, and other resources, use of solar energy, and for the reduction of pollution and waste generation capacity, to reuse and recycle, quality of the air in the environments, use of non-toxic, ethical, and or sustainable materials, and also consideration in the environment of construction and operation, of the quality of life of the occupants in the design, the designs that favor the adaptation of climate change. The bank offers the lowest interest rates in the market. At the country level, there are tax discounts for sustainable construction, also discounts on the municipal rates, which are in the waste collection in our municipal services. Also efficient investment and efficiency of future spending, and savings on public services such as water and energy. That's mostly the idea of the sustainable homes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So we've got a question around sustainable ambassadors, and you know the case competition briefing explains that you're working with sustainability ambassadors, and I guess the person who's asked a question would just like to find out, are these internal leaders within the bank, and what their role is, both I suppose as an ambassador and within the bank as well, in addition to their day job.
About the ambassadors are collaborators inside the bank, and the idea is to expand all the information that we're gaining as sustainable to form a communication network within our colleagues within the bank.
Cool.
And adding to that is that what we want is to the information go from down. No, it's something that imposed from the bosses or imposed from the banks, but more something that is communicated around everybody, and everybody wants to know about it and share with their next colleague. And so it's more that the idea of the ambassadors.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, so what I find super interesting is that the sustainability department works in partnership with the innovation department within the bank. And I think that's a really exciting partnership. And it means, you know, you've got the opportunity to both think about CSR and sustainability in terms of an agenda, but also be innovative and creative with it. So we'd just be interested to find out how closely the departments are aligned and really sort of how they work together on particular initiatives.
We have a new welcome kit for the credit cards, and sent to the customer containing credit cards and debit cards, and our documents were reduced in quantity, redesigned on recycled paper and covered with biodegradable bags. That's one of the projects that we're launching right now. And the idea for maybe the next year is stop printing the pins for the credit cards and debit cards, to allow to be a self-management through our bank's apps. So you don't have to print it anymore. And that's the...
Yeah, fantastic. That's really interesting. That's great. Thank you. And then, I mean, obviously, sustainability is a really, really important agenda. And we talk a lot about the climate emergency and how sustainability needs to sort of fit in with that, and the role of organizations in being sustainable. But obviously, at the same time, you're a business. And, you know, when we talk about planet and purpose, we also need to consider profit as well. And while you want to be sustainable, you obviously don't want to miss out on any sustainable business opportunities at the same time. So what would be some examples you'd like to see in terms of the entry? How would you want the sort of business agenda to lead your sustainability goals? Would you like it to lead it or be a byproduct of what you're doing as well?
The concrete example that we already have as a business opportunity is the product of sustainable housing loans. But also, and we're interested in advancing with our sustainable products, such as loans for motorcycles and electric cars with better financial conditions. And other products inside that we is loans for acquisition of Euro 4 machinery or higher drip risk and solar backup, precision agriculture and solar irrigations for the countryside.
Thank you. Okay, and we talked a little bit about the relationship and the partnership you have with the financing of sustainable housing. Considering, like, you know, if somebody was writing the case, would that be something you'd want to see coming through of the case? Would you like to have more partnerships? Would you like to see suggestions of other partnerships? Is that something you'd like to expand on going forward?
Yes, definitely. It's something that we aim constantly. We have many departments in charge of new alliances. So there are departments of consumer banking that they can do the alliance, the department of corporate banking, they can do alliance, the SMEs department, so the housing department. So we can do many alliances at the same time. So it's something that we aim to do in the future, and we don't have a limit on that. It's something that we can do many at the same time.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. And then considering, it's a bit of a cheeky question, this one, but you talked about, you know, lots of banks within Paraguay working together on various sustainability agendas. Considering your competitors, would you say in Paraguay and also in the wider Latin American region, do you think that you're ahead of the curve in terms of sustainability, or is there more to do?
No, there's a lot to do. There is a lot to do in Paraguay, seeing sustainability terms, but there are things that are done in Paraguay different from other countries. We have deforestation zero laws in Paraguay in the we call Eastern region and Western region, but we have deforestation zero in the Eastern region, which is the southern region of Paraguay. And we have deforestation control in the northern region or western region of Paraguay, which is not very common in other countries, especially the countries that are mainly food producers. But there are a lot of things to do related to gender equality, reduction of poverty, access to water. So it's a lot of things that it can be done in Paraguay that we are far from other countries in the region.
Fabulous. Okay, so just referring again to the case document, the nature of the economy in Paraguay means that a lot of your clients are in the agricultural or livestock sectors, or both. Now, I think, you know, you're well aware that these are one of the industries that pollute the most worldwide, but in Paraguay, it's a sector that provides the most social and economic development for the community. So it's a really fine balancing act. So I guess in terms of a case submission, would you like to see somebody talk a lot about your external outreach working with your clients, especially in the livestock or farming sectors, or would you rather it focused more on your internal strategy? How would you like that balance to be within the submissions?
Yes, definitely we would like to have cases in terms of our outreach, because it's a very delicate issue, as you already mentioned. So yes, for us, it's very important to have that.
Perfect, thank you. And then another, just a point of clarification. I think this person's asking, the case competition requires a short-term 2-year strategy. And they're just asking if you could clarify if that is for to take you to the end of 2023. So starting from, starting from say November this year, when the deadline is, taking you up again until November 2023, or is that how you're seeing it? That's what I reckon, but I just wanted to be sure.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, cool. So considering the bank's vision, mission, and values, and these are really important topics when it comes to business strategy, sustainability currently doesn't feature within the mission, vision, and values. And they're asking if you want to change these to incorporate more sustainability, or do you feel that that sustainability will be integrated into each value and into your purpose slightly differently? Later in the competition document, it says that your goal is solving climate change, and really they're sort of wondering if you want a marketing proposal to sort of look at this from a sort of strategic and value-based agenda. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a very good question. This is not something that we have talked before, but we could include in our mission and vision sustainability commitment. I think it's something that we should discuss and include. Yes, a marketing proposal is something that takes our attention. As the question before, that as we expose to an industry that have a very big impact in the environment, that's something very delicate in making a marketing proposal saying that we are sustainable and we are doing this and that, at the same time that we are financing agriculture and cattle business. So it's something that it's needed to be use a marketing proposal on that, but it has to be very delicate so we couldn't sound hypocrite, sort of something like that.
Totally understood. That's a really fair answer. Thank you. Okay. Another little cheeky question, I thought. The person's saying the case competition is, the document is a little bit ambiguous in budget. I think we've sort of done that intentionally, to be fair. But they're sort of saying that you have a limited budget when it comes to developing a sustainability agenda, but they do say that this could be subjective depending on region or sector. So I think they mean that a small budget for one company could represent a huge budget for another organization. So they're sort of thinking, what sort of budget you would like them to look at in terms of the strategy that they'd be building.
Well, sustainability department is a new area in the bank. We didn't have a proper budget this year, so everything that we did decide to innovate without a budget. So trying to use budget of other departments, like marketing for the welcome kits of the credit cards and things like that Natalia already mentioned. But we believe a proper budget will be allocated starting the year 2022 based on the management decision. So it's something that we must have next year. We haven't discussed yet the budget, so we don't know how much it will be. We don't think it will be something very important, but it's something that we will have next year.
So just a couple of points to clarify there. So in terms of, would you be looking to the case competition for them to build a very sort of compelling business case in terms of budget? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then also,
yes.
I suppose you've said, and I think this is super important, that a lot of it is working with other departments within the bank. So working with the marketing department to get them doing some marketing for them. So is a lot of this about winning hearts and minds across the organization as well to get support internally to help? Yeah. Okay, great. That makes sense.
Yes.
And then this one's a bit similar to a question I've asked previously, but I suppose, again, it's about balance on internal engagement versus external action. So I think it's another budgetary question. So if you were to do a lot of external action, that would require a larger budget in terms of marketing, recruitment, operational spend, and so on, versus internal sort of stakeholder engagement, getting lots of people within the organization to buy into the sustainability agenda. Is your strategy currently to focus more on the internal, getting help from other departments, or sort of building the sustainability department to reach out itself going forward?
We believe that it would be ideal to have one more year of internal focus on the strength and in the entity and as a sustainable bank before moving to an external action. And that's because we've worked very hard this year, and people are starting to talk about sustainability, something that weren't discussed internally before. And now it's something that many people are interested, and many people are offering ideas to us. But it's still, there is a lot of people that still don't know about that. So we want to move internally, because we don't want to be a bank that outside talks about sustainability and our team doesn't know what we're talking about. So it's something that we want to move internally first and see what we can do internally before going with external actions.
Brilliant, thank you. I think that's some really great insight in terms of putting together a strategy. So thank you for that. This person's asking if Banco Regional has a charitable arm from which to siphon budget to support a wider sustainability plan. And if not, is this something that you would like to consider or look at, perhaps in terms of a case submission? Would you like to sort of see a business case for that?
Well, our charitable arm is the foundation, to call it some way. And the foundation has it focused in the three main points that we mentioned before. And if the sustainability plan is in line with their focus, it could be something that we could expand.
Fabulous, thank you very much. And then I think this question touches a little bit on what you discussed earlier, Natalia, around the CAPS project, which, by the way, I think is fantastic. I absolutely love. Congratulations, I think it's brilliant. But they're asking if you do any fundraising currently, and if the fundraising, I suppose, fits into the sustainability department, or is that slightly different? And if so, what other charities and local groups do you raise funds to support?
Besides the CAPS, we don't have we don't carry out fundraising constantly. We have special cases. For example, there have been cases in Paraguay there have been floods or even strong winds that affect special communities or small communities. And so the bank carries out a fundraising internally with their employees. And what the bank does is it duplicates the amount raised with the employees. But it's not something that we do normally, the fundraising. Well, now the CAPS, but it's not as a fund, as money.
Fabulous, that makes sense, thank you. Okay, and the last question for me, and before I ask it, I'd just like to remind anybody listening, any delegates, if you have any questions, please pop them in the Q&A box, and we've got some time that we can answer those before the end of the session. So take the opportunity now to ask Rafael and Natalia some questions while you have the chance. So the last question we have, I think this is a great question as well. So you're really clear that you want to do more to support the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And I think that makes a lot of strategic sense in light of the competition. But there are 17 of them. And I think the person sort of saying, are there any goals that you feel that you would like more information around, more support on? Because there's quite a lot there to put into the submission. Are there any goals that you're really focused on? Or I suppose any holes that you want filled, or, that you would like further sort of information around or help with?
Yes, we have discussed that at the moment that we created the sustainability department. And although the 17 goals are very important, the ones that are more related to the business of a bank that we related to is the 1 to eradicate poverty, the number 8, employment and economic growth, the number 10, reduction of inequalities, and the 13, which is the fight against climate change. It's not something that climate change is not something that we will fight to change, but we wanted to improve to reduce the impact. It's more going in that sense. Great.
Thank you very much. Okay, so that actually answers all the questions that we'd had sent into us prior to the session. In a second, I'll just go through some more information about the actual submission process, just to remind everyone. But just before I do, Rafaela and Natalia, do you want to offer a little piece of advice? What would you advise people who are thinking about entering or sharing a case for you and a submission to think about? What would you like to see?
I can go first, maybe. Something that we want is something that we've been discussing lately, is that we need to fix what we're going to be our main intention with the sustainability department and our main focus. As we saw in the foundation, they have 3 points that they are focusing on, and something that we need to do. We saw there are some banks here in Paraguay that are focusing in cultural development, others that are more in the equality, and we need to have one point that we want to go to. Maybe that what we're thinking is environmental, something that we go, that's more what we've been doing, but what we need maybe your help is to define what will be our goal for the next years. Nati? So, okay.
Well, the thing is, we want to know the main idea of what is going to be our sustainability department, which is, since we are agricultural bank, I don't know if we can focus on something on like in that department, since we have an agriculture and cattle, and I don't know if we could something that it goes through that.
Perfect. Thank you. I think that's really, really insightful. Thank you both. That's really helpful. Okay, so I'll just give it a couple more minutes to see if any other questions come through. But while I do, I'll just remind everybody that there is still plenty of time to write and send your submission for the case competition. So my advice to you is to go to the BGA website. And if you go through the members area, if you are a BGA member, you will easily be able to find the case competition hub. Now that has a wealth of information. So there is the case study, award criteria, submission guidelines documents, advice on how to submit your question, all the information you need. We've carried out 4 of these workshops. So in the first workshop, Rafaela presented an introduction to the case competition, talked about Banco Regional, really went through their strategy, and there's a lot of detail in that as well that's really interesting. The second session focused on Paraguay in particular, its economy, its financial system, and sustainability initiatives already in place. And then the third session focused on related industry specialist speakers around sustainability agendas and lots of, I thought, really, really interesting examples of sustainability initiatives that you could draw upon or think about when putting together the case competition. And then obviously today we've gone through specific Q&A. So hopefully there's a wealth of information there that you can see and use. So just to reiterate, at this precise minute in time, you've got 26 days, 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 34 seconds to get your entry for the competition in. And there is a very handy countdown on the website to keep you up to date and make sure that you're getting everything done on time. The case study itself is open to anybody who's a business student currently studying a business degree at a BGA member institution at undergraduate, postgraduate, MBA, or master's level. It's opened to all current students and graduates who are members of BGA. So you have to actually join BGA in order to do that, and it's absolutely free to do so. Just to remind you, the submission is it's a Word document. You upload it via our website, and it's a really great opportunity for you to really showcase your skills and your knowledge of this area, to learn more and contribute to the sustainability agenda. To develop a business experience and expand your professional network. And the winner will be interviewed in our magazine, Business Impact. And let's not forget, they will win a cash prize of $3,000 US. So yeah, I don't think there's very much else that I have to say regarding the competition. The deadline, as I mentioned, is in 26 days. So that is the 15th of November, 2021. Entries will be judged in 2 levels. So firstly, we will look at the written submissions, and then the finalists will be shortlisted and they'll take part in virtual interviews with Rafaela, as well as other experienced and very knowledgeable judges who will be really pleased to discuss the different facets of your entry in detail. Just to remind you, this session is obviously being recorded, as with the other ones will be put on our website, so as you can access it all in a one-stop shop and get all the information that you need for the case competition. So I think that covers off everything that I need to go through. And I'm seeing that there's no more questions coming through. So all that remains for me to say is, once again, thank you very much to Austral Group for their support with these sessions and also with the competition, to Banco Regional and Natalia and Rafaela, especially for giving up their time today to speak to us and share their insight. And we're very, very much looking forward to reading the entries and seeing lots of innovative and exciting ideas for the next stage in the sustainability journey for Banco Regional. So thank you so much for your time and have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.